My name is Yesenia Real, and I graduated from Round Lake High School in 2009 and from Case Western Reserve University in 2013 with a Bachelor of Arts in Theater and Psychology. I have been doing theater for about 13 years. The past 6 have been in a professional capacity. And I'm here to talk a little bit about what I do in the theater. So I work as a stage manager and prop designer, but in this video I thought I would focus on the prop aspect of what I do. So the prop designer is responsible for obtaining all of the props needed for the production. And a prop typically means anything that is handled by the actors. So things like plates, cups, cell phones, cameras, guns, things like that. Anything that's handled, we're responsible for. And we also work with stage managers and directors beforehand and during the rehearsal process to get any sort of rehearsal props that they may need during their rehearsal process before we get on the stage. I got into prop designing by accident. The theater department at Case was looking for a food prop designer for Top Girls, and I had nothing better to do. And a friend reached out to me and said, "Hey, you want to do this?" And I said, "Okay." And so I worked that show and I got it on my resume. And the same thing happened when I was working professionally. The theater that I was an assistant stage manager for was looking for a prop master, and I said, "Hey, I have some experience doing that," and I've been doing that sort of thing ever since. So, like I said, got into it by accident, so there's not really a lot of training that I had to do, but it does help that I have a huge imagination and I'm really crafty, and I really know how to stretch a dollar. The best part of my job is seeing everything come together during Tech Week. So that's always been one of my favorite things, no matter what role or capacity that I have in that show. It's just always, I love that. But I also love getting challenged and figuring out how to make those challenges work. So for example, I had a show where the actors had to get blood work done on stage, and I rigged real blood tubes with plastic and food coloring. So when the needle pierced the plastic, the food coloring would go into the tube. And so when it was raised, it looked like there was actual blood inside, but it was food coloring. Sometimes having to work with tight budgets, but that's where you learn to network with other theaters, right? You take lots of trips to Goodwill and you do like a lot of research, and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, so probably working with the tight budget is probably the hardest part of my job sometimes. As a prop designer, you get to do a lot of cool things. So I've worked things like blood effects, like blood spatter, stuff like that. I've gotten a chance to head those things, and that's been a lot of fun. But to give more specific examples, some of the shows that I've worked on, for example, The Effect, I had to get a brain, and had a friend with a 3D printer, and he 3D printed a brain for me, and actually it's right here. I got to keep it. It's pretty sweet. For the Octoroon, I had to build an 18th century camera that had to be destroyed by a tomahawk every single night, and then rebuilt again the next day to be used for the next show. For Hand to God, that one I had a lot of fun with because I got to go to Goodwill, buy a bunch of stuffed animals, buy a bunch of toys, like little dinosaurs and things, and I destroyed all these things, and I put them back together in these like nightmare fuel-esque toys. But yeah, there are a ton of shows that I've worked with that I've gotten a chance to do a lot of cool things with, but those are off the top of my head, those are the more specific things that I've gotten to do. What would I suggest if someone wants to be a prop designer is be confident in yourself. Know how to network, know how to talk to people. Being a prop designer takes a lot of creativity, not just artwork wise, but also in being able to problem solve things. So for example, if there is a food prop that is necessary because it's mentioned in the script, but the actor who has to eat it is allergic to that food. So what can we replace it with? What sort of food looks similar to whatever it is that they need that from a distance, no one's going to tell that it's something else. So just being confident, networking, and being creative and really loving what you do. Yeah. Prop designing has been one of my favorite jobs in theater, and I've had so much fun working with actors and other designers to help make productions just be super amazing. And it feels so good to have that satisfaction when opening night comes around and you can hear the audience going, how did they do that? Or that looks so awesome. And I'm like, I helped make that. I did that. So that feels kind of awesome. But if you have any further questions, I'd love to help answer any. Just reach out to Patrick McGuire and she'll forward your questions to me and I'll respond. But I hope you're having a wonderful and amazing day. And thanks for watching.